Very welcome at my presentation. I'm leading a breakout session for you guys. I'll just dive into to the subject. I'm talking a bit about social business, social service, social marketing. I'm heading the social operation at KPN, which is a big telco in the Netherlands. I've got two small videos in there, which gives you kind of an overview and a kind of a feel of the things that we are doing. And I have some slides and some projects that I will have a bit of more deep dive in with some numbers also. Try to stick to 30 minutes to start sending some stuff, and hopefully we'll have 10 minutes to have some interaction with you guys. If in the meantime there are questions, if you please just note it down in your head and we'll pick it up in the 10 minutes after my presentation. Yep. So that's me. This is me in real life, of course. My name is Sebastian van Rijnshoever. I have a background in advertising, working at KPN for 2.5 years now. And people quite often ask me, okay, how did you end up in a big telco organization when you had this nice career in the advertising industry, doing great stuff for Heineken, for KLM, for companies like that? And my belief is in the days that we are now is that the real creative stuff is really within the companies. So we are really, and it's due to social, due to digital, it brings the customer in, it brings the need for interaction with our customers really into our company. And my belief is that the real exciting stuff is within the company these days instead of only advising. But that's of course my opinion, but that was my reason to step over. Well, a bit about KPN. I don't know how many people know KPN as a company. Of course, this is an international, okay, some guys, probably Dutch guys. Well, we are a big company, we are a local company. We still have some assets. We have a brand called A+ Base in Germany. We are trying to sell it, if the European community finds it okay. Local company, 9 million customers, various brands, active in not only mobile, but also in fixed and in TV propositions. And I think you can say that we are an old company. And I think that especially in the times that we are in today, with a lot of speed and a lot of interaction with customer needs really on the table of your company, these are really exciting times. And as a big company with a lot of legacy, you have more exciting stuff to do than when you are just a startup. And I think that's interesting. But it's not easy. I don't know how many people know giffgaff as a company or a brand. Just, yeah, one? Well, that's great. I would really like to advise you to have a look at giffgaff. giffgaff is a brand, but also a company. It's part of the Telefonica company. And they are a mobile telco operator in the UK. And I think the interesting thing of giffgaff is that they really decided to start up their activities, not for their customers, but really with their customers, which is really an exciting, I think, beginning of a company. So we as KPN, we are still creating our products, we are creating, and of course sometimes we ask customers, what do you think of the products? giffgaff really says, okay, our company, our brand, the stuff that we do, the way we do service, but even the type of products that we deliver to our customers, it's really the thing that we do together, which is really nice, I believe. It's 100% social company, so the only thing that they in fact have is a website, is a social community with a lot of members and a lot of customers in there. Exciting numbers also. I think they started up a few years ago. They're very successful. They earn a lot of money, which of course is nice as a company. But they, for example, have a net promoter score of plus 70, I think, which is very high as a telco company, which says a lot about the kind of promotership, the kind of excitement that customers have about the way that they get the service done through giffgaff. But they also have, each of their customers gives the company 4 new customers every year, which is also great. You know, that would be something that we as KPN would love to have. But this is new reality for us. So we are really wondering how to move from this big oil tanker that we are still on towards this new world. You know, and in fact, our customers say, okay, we want this. You know, this is really exciting. So how to do it? And we said, okay, we can't, you know, with our 9 million customers, go over to this model in one day because that's really too big. So we tried to move forward to say, okay, we want to be this best service company in the Netherlands within a few years. So we said 2016, that's the magic number for us. So we want to really be, and we also measure it. We ask our customers to be the best in service. A small film, just to show a bit where we come from, what we are doing.
every breath I take, I'm breathing you. You are forever till the end of time. From now on, only you and I. We're going up, 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 up. You never lost a piece of us. A beating love within my heart. We're going up, 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 up. We are here, we're all alone in our universe. We are free, where everything's allowed and love comes first. Forever and ever together, we sail into infinity. We're higher and higher and higher, we're reaching for divinity. Oh, euphoria, forever till the end of time. From now on, only you and I. We're going up, 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 up. Euphoria, never lost a piece of us. A beating love within my heart. We're going up, 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 up. Forever, we're sailing to infinity. We're higher, we're reaching for divinity. Euphoria, we're going up, 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 up. Euphoria, never lost a piece of us. A beating love within my heart. We're going up, 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 up. Euphoria.
So, what does this tell you? For me, when I look back, I think we do a lot. We have a lot of activities in place, but the risk could also be maybe we do too much. So for me, I started 2.5 years ago again. I really thought about what is it to have a goal as becoming a best service provider, to become a social company. And I think for me, the really basic thing of it is becoming a personal company again. I think that when you look at big companies like ours and big legacy, big banks, big energy companies and telcos, sometimes you can conclude that we more or less lost the connection with our customers. When I go to the bakery in the morning, I live in a small village next to Amsterdam. The guys, when I come in there, they know me, they know my kids, they know what we normally order. If the kids go in there and they don't have money, they say, okay, that's fine, your father will come in the evening. And that kind of feel, that kind of personal relationship that is natural for us people, sometimes I think we lost it. And for me, really, the challenge is how can you bring that back, even though we are a big company. And then again, when you want to achieve that goal, is it about, what is it about? Is it about technology, because it's a lot of internet and social stuff? Is it about organization, processes? My belief is that it begins in the minds of people, that you really have to change, the way that people look at themselves, the role that they have. It begins about bringing a customer into a company. So I work in The Hague, and we have, of course, a big building there with lots of thousands of people working. And I think the fact that we have a building and we are not in the center of a town sometimes already says where the problem is. So we are not, in the midst of our customers. So I think the nice thing of social is that it really brings the customer into our world, which is of course a necessity because we do stuff for customers, but it's also giving us the opportunity to step in to the world of the customer. So if a customer is twittering, active on Facebook, we can start that dialogue with him, which is really an exciting opportunity. So where did we start? I really started really fundamental with the inside of the company. So we've got 18,000 people working for KPN today. And that's great because you have a potential of 18,000 brand ambassadors. Of course, when you have, let's say, 18,000 people with an average 100 followers on Twitter, then you already have the reach of a TV ad. But you have to begin with, of course, motivating those people and getting them into place to become those ambassadors. And looking at ambassadorship within a company, it's also inspiring each other. So when we started off with social, we started with this, which is, we call it Team KPN. It says a lot, what's it meant for? It's meant for really building a team within our company. So not the old verticals, of course, that we already also had and still have a bit. So the vertical service, the vertical sales, the vertical marketing, some financial guys. And now we really have to move ourselves surrounding those customers and surrounding those customers' needs. So Team KPN is a social media platform. And you have a different platform. You've got Jive, you've got different variants of it. We decided a few years ago to do it, to make it specifically for our needs, which of course also had to do with security issues, because this is really within our own mainframe. And what Team KPN in fact is really kind of a Facebook for our own employees. And it's not only about your profile, so you can automatically, of course, get your LinkedIn profile into your own personal profile when you start at a company. But it's really about who you are, what are your specific, the way that you look at the world, what are your hobbies, and we try to motivate people to create interconnections between the silos. So what we actively do is we try, for just an example, we have an online forum. I'll tell you a bit about it later. And what we do, we started off last year, is to get questions from customers that dive into the forum. We put them in Team KPN in the morning to really, okay, these are our customers, these are our needs. Okay, guys, can you help us find a solution? So again, the old way would say, okay, we have our service organization, let them handle it. I'm focusing on marketing, I'm focusing on sales. Today, we are really moving this customer into the company through this example. Just push it in. And the fun thing is people just dive into it. So they start helping, they start doing suggestions. But even the deepest programmer who's programming something in the back end of the company, they start becoming active, which is really nice, and it's not really only the direct effect that it has, but it's really the indirect effect of what we show, what we do to each other is we start interacting and building a social company again surrounding our customers. And of course we started with a website, the internal part of it through the desktop, but today we also have it on iPad, we also have it on iPhone. And when, for example, we have something exciting, you really get an alert in the morning. So we are a company, you don't need to work in the office, you can work at home if you want to. So these kind of means really help you as a company to really get people connected to you, but also interconnect through all those means and all those channels that we have today. So I think I'm quite proud of it. And you see, everybody is active on it. And it's very simple, we don't have an intranet anymore. This is where you dive into. As soon as you start, you sign your contract, you're up here. You need to make your own profile because otherwise you're not there, so people don't see you. So about 20,000 active employees, and a lot of them very, very active. A second one is also the internal side of the company still, and that's where today we are in the home of Salesforce, and we work a lot with Salesforce company. We said, okay, we need good monitoring to understand what the customers, who they are and what their needs are. So the big needs, but also what's happening today. We are launching a new product. Maybe there's a cable problem somewhere. So we want to have these reactions real time into our company because this makes us aware of the stuff that is happening out there. And so what we are doing currently is, and this is a photo in the back of our big hallway in The Hague. Of course, we have a big hallway. And we started off with a big screen there. And what we show there is really real-time social command center. So we show interaction with customers. We show sentiment, development. We show, in fact, everything which is happening out there which relates to us, even what the competitors are doing. And sometimes, you get, funny side effects. So, for example, I was called by a colleague a few weeks ago, and I also I think I've got 20 kind of these smaller systems throughout the company. Also on specific departments. So, for example, Department Fiber has screens with their own command center, specifically on the fiber market and fiber customers. And I have a screen below at the elevator unit. So people are waiting there for the elevator to come down. And we've got quite slow elevators, so it's a good place to hang there as a customer. But also, we've got customers who are screaming, sometimes who are swearing. So she was calling a team member of mine. I said, well, there's a lot of swearing going on, below, and can't you do something about it? Can't you put a filter on it? It should be possible, So she was, and it was a funny discussion. It's a typical discussion, I think, also. And of course, I said, well, these are our customers, and of course, apparently they are angry. So instead of filtering it, because this was the old way of doing it, so it doesn't happen. Let them call, we don't see it. Let's embrace the fact that they share it with us, and maybe they don't share it directly on purpose, but of course it's a message, let's do something about it. So I think these kind of means, really to get the customer in again, really helps, to get the company moving and also to get these kind of discussions going on, because I feel and I really believe that that's very healthy. And at the left side, which is also interesting, is we started off, and I really believe in starting small with everything that we do. So we have a kind of a principle that we do everything, first of all, in a proof of concept, then we do a live pilot, then we show the results. If the results are not there, we throw it away. If the results are great or okay, then we start developing and we start to grow. And what we do right now is we are working on a kind of live, real-time dashboard for iPad, for management and hopefully for everybody, where we try to get all the metrics that we have real-time. So it's social data, but it's also online. So how many people are visiting which pages on the website, how many people are converting. So really to get this online customer journey, in fact, with all the performance metrics behind it, to get it real life in an iPad app. And again, it's not about technology. I believe that technology is great, so I'm really excited to have this, on an iPad to see it working. But the great thing is that again, it really helps you to become this social, this service company, because suddenly, your results are on the table there. And the ambition is to have, by the end of this year, this kind of customer journey app where you can really see, within a journey, for example, the orientation phase, which is, of course, the beginning of a journey. For example, you see this thing, red light clinging, and you know that there is something happening there. And so you can just have to tap on it, and then suddenly there's a window opening, and you can see behind it, okay, what's the problem? Apparently there is a Google AdWords campaign not working very well, so somebody should dive into it. So again, technology helps you, to move faster, to get real-time interaction on your table, and also, it enables you to become more effective, I believe, as a company. Another, and also internally again, start off with the external part afterwards. It was a simple experience. In fact, I'm a father of 3 sons, and it's really big fun to have 3 sons because they have a lot of energy, of course, going on. And one of them is, of course, playing football, playing soccer, and of course, I'm the coach of the team. And I had this colleague coach standing next to me on a Saturday morning. And he knew, he said, Sebastian, you're working for KPN, aren't you? And yeah, of course, I'm proud. It's a great company. And he said, well, I have a small company myself, and I'm very unhappy, with your company. Can't you help me? And of course, we were just screaming to the guys. And I said, okay, well, how can I get the information in? Because I'm really serious about being an ambassador and also helping our customers. And so what I did is on Monday morning, I just dove into the company. I said, okay, we should have a kind of a process, for our own people, 18,000 KPN people, to help our own friends and our family when they stumble into a problem with our company. And the fun thing was there was something there, and it was a web page on the old intranet. So somebody mailed me after I was looking into, and I've got a link, there's an old page there. And I started there, and of course there was an error there, the page wasn't there anymore. But the fun thing was there was a team in Eindhoven, which is the city where Philips is. And there was a team, and it's kind of a spider team, and they are specialized in complex customer questions to organize and get the right people connected and to get a solution on the table. So I kind of created a coalition of the willing, because I don't really believe too much in beginning something through the official channels. So very often I just see where is the excitement, where are people that want something. So we started off with 3 people saying, okay, this is something shouldn't it be nice to have an iPad app or an app on your smartphone, because everybody has a smartphone in KPN, where you can simply say, okay, if you have a problem, I'm on a birthday party, okay, I can just, put the problem in, push it away, and, the customer gets helped immediately. So it became the KPN Ambassador app. We launched it last year, and we've got, well, I think about half of our employees downloaded it today. It's not about big numbers, it's also a symbol, it makes you proud, that you can do something about, things that happen to your family when we are responsible. You see that, people really like it, I do some qualitative research also, okay, do you like the app, the thing that it does for you? So I think the first quarter we had kind of 500 problems, got into the app at first release. And then we said, okay, apparently it's something that helps and that works. So we said, okay, we do an extra step now. So the next phase, we launched it 2 months ago. So it's not only about complaints anymore, it's really an ambassador app now. So what you can also do is you can share stories. So we have every month we add new stories about the stuff that we do as a company. And it can be about the rollout of 4G in the Netherlands, which is really a great story to share also with your friends. But it can also be about us and ice skating, or we have a very nice program helping elderly people and sick kids to stay connected with their family and their classmates. And so sharing great stuff with the outside world, but also compliments. We do a lot of sharing with KLM, and I think the positive thing that they really do is it's also changing. It's kind of a yin-yang, so it's about complaints. It's about helping customers not being happy. But it's also really about, when you are happy, make it bigger, make the happiness of customers, show it to other customers. So what we also do is if, you hear from somebody, okay, I had this great engineer of KPN today and really helped me and, I'm very happy. Okay, what's the name, of the guy? Okay, I just note it in, and we make sure that the guy really gets the compliment of the customer on his table, which of course is very motivating also. And so it's really about, combining, service, not so nice stuff with also, getting the positive thing up and running. Well, the next step, of course, is service. I already talked a lot about service, I think. But now going to the outside world. I think 2.5-3 years ago, we started off with web care. And I think just be aware that 2.5 years ago, web care wasn't anything. Nobody was active on Twitter doing service. So what happened, and it was just before I came in, there were 3 guys who just believed, in the power of Twitter. And what, of course, we saw then in the company is that customers were already active on Twitter talking about us, but not with us. So it was really a fundamental, thought, well, shouldn't we, be part of this conversation? We can ignore it, but we can also start, being part of it. So we started off web care with really 3 guys, just, creating their own training. They didn't have an official status within the company. They just started off, and after a while, they figured out, okay, this is called web care, so it suddenly became something in the company. And then the year after and the year after, people became aware in the company. Of course, we started sharing through Team KPN what they were doing. So suddenly it was kind of a tourist attraction, So there were managers, going to Groningen, where web care is, and what are these guys doing, And it's illegal, it's not fixed to the process of KPN. And which is really nice, It's of course strange to think that KPN existed for 2 years without being an official service channel of KPN. On the other side, it was really the fun thing because it had something, something strange about it and something exciting about it. So we built it up. We are still building it up because it's a really powerful and really nice and also, again, personal, interactive channel to talk to customers. We get about 10,000, I think it's much more today, 15, 20 maybe already, customers who are just leaving messages on Twitter and Facebook. It's mainly Twitter, just to help us, I have a problem. Sometimes still, to be honest, it's because they are not able to connect through the call center and then they go to social because they hope that we will hear them there. And of course, that's a valid reason also. But it's growing very fast and very rapidly. Today, when you look at the amount of people, so starting off with 3 guys on webcare illegally, we did a lot of process and engineering. We entered Salesforce, as a tool for all our webcare teams. I think cross-brand, we today have like 60, maybe already 80 people active on webcare. So in a period of 2 years, it's growing very rapidly. And the nice thing is, it's not only about amounts; it's about specifically, the way that the experience is of the customer. So we measure, for example, the sentiment. Is a customer helped in the right way? So we look at the way that customers come in, sentiment, and the way they leave it, and we measure it and have a KPI on it. So we measure it. We try to optimize it constantly. We look at cost also. So there's a business case and cost also behind it. So what we also do is we see, okay, what is the cost of a traditional call center? And to compare it with the operation that we have standing here. And that's also a kind of a positive business case, especially when it builds up. Then the next step, because it's also interesting discussion. You know, okay, we had call centers, we had all kinds of service points. Now we have web care, but is web care the future of service? You know, I don't really believe it, because, you know, before, you know, in 3 years suddenly we have 3,000 web care agents sitting there, you know, and that's not something that we can support as a company. And I don't believe that customers want it also. So we started off like 2 years ago with the first KPN forum, and a forum. How many people here know what a service forum is? Some people, yeah, most of you I think do. So it's really a platform where customers can leave a question, and we leave it for a while for them to interact and find the solutions themselves. And that works great, I have to say. I think we've got 20,000 active users on the KPN forum alone, and we also have it for Hi, we have it for Telfort, we have it for all our brands now. Active users who are sharing stuff with us, helping other customers also. I think I have a nice example afterwards it's one of our super promoters. Super user Sugosha. We have meetups also with these people. So it's not only digital, it's really a kind of extension of our company. So these are not KPN employees. And this is a nice example. It's just a guy, he's crazy about mobile. That's really his personal passion. And he spends 45 hours a week active on our forum. We don't pay him, you know, and he's not part of the KPN company. You know, it's only his passion. So passion for mobile, and he likes to help other people, you know, which is really great. So for those kind of people, of course, we have a program. So we have a meetup with them every quarter of a year. And then we have discussions with them. Okay, how can we do stuff better? How should we develop this forum better? But we are also active now in co-creation, for example. We are really involving them in, okay, can you, for example, beta test new stuff for us? Or when Samsung calls them, we have a new phone it comes up in a few months. Okay, the super users, you know, get the first, you know, interaction with new stuff that we do. And this really also makes them a good feel of, okay, I'm important for the company, I'm important for the community. And this is really, if you would ask it for me, this is really the future of the way that you should do business. And again, at the beginning, you know, this is in fact what GiveGaff is doing. For us, this is really innovative, it's something new. And I think the future of service should be and must be much more about these kind of things. Doing stuff together with your customers, you know, making them part of what you do and how you move forward. And this is maybe a nice example. We have a website, and I think our website, you know, it's like us, you know, it's an old website. There's a lot of silos, there's a lot of data, technology behind it, and when you have kind of a legacy in IT and people within big companies that are sitting here probably know the problem, you know, it can be quite difficult because it's hard to throw stuff away because there's customer data there, it's connected, you know, IT is connected to everything. So, you know, how do you build something up? So we started off, I think, 2 years ago with 1.5 years ago with the project, the new KPN.com, so a new portal website, which of course is crucial for our performance today because a lot of people do business and buy stuff on our website. And this was exciting that for the first time in our history, we really decided to get customers involved to really, you know, design and not only the designs, but really the way that you interact with the website to have them involved in the whole development of the site. And in 2 ways, this worked quite well. I think the site really is better than it was before, thanks to a lot of these customer interactions and feedback. So I think that's nice. But also the whole feel, you know. Again, we had meetups with those customers, and the personal feedback that you get from customers, really, it's great that you guys, you know, we never believed that KPN could be so open, you know, get us involved. And I think those are the really magic, you know, kind of diamonds that is the beginning of developing your old company into something new, which is more customer-centric, more personal, and also a bit more, let's say, loving, you know, kind of feel around it. So what does it add up? You know, again, I was already telling you, and the slide is not really great anymore. So this is what comes up out of our web care interaction. So what you see here is, okay, customers coming in at web care, and this is measured through Radian 6 and the Salesforce tooling. They come in negative, they come in neutral, they come in positive, so we log it, it's partly logged automatically. And then you have the interaction, you solve the problem, hopefully, and then we do an exit measurement. And the nice thing, especially on the left side, you see the negative conversations. Apparently, through our human interaction, we are capable of turning stuff which is negative into positive. And I think that's really great to see. And sometimes I do these kind of performances on average once a month, and very often somebody stands up and says, oh, Sebastian, nice story, but I'm a KPN customer and I still have a problem, can you help me? And I very often say, okay, I'm now the owner of this problem, so I try to solve it myself, just to give, it forces me also to dive into this company and see where the hiccups are. And it's really great, it's motivating for us as a company, for person within the company, but also for our customers to see that the tide is changing. I think the sentiment is shifting and that we are really on our way to becoming a more positive-minded and really a service organization in the Netherlands. I end with a small video. It's a Dutch video, so for people who are not Dutch natives, it will be a bit difficult, but I think the music is quite nice, so enjoy. I was just joking about the music. But well, this is the end of my presentation. We've got 5 minutes 36 counting down. Do you have some questions for me? There's a question. I think there's a mic coming up.
Hi, my name is Antoinette. I have a question about where Salesforce comes in the whole story, because I noticed that you are using Salesforce for web care.
Yeah.
And well, maybe you can comment in on that a bit more.
Yeah, sure. I think within KPN, Salesforce was already used a bit more on the sales domain, a bit on the CRM domain. For me, it really came in on web care. Again, we do a lot of knowledge sharing with companies like KPN, especially within the Netherlands. So we talk a lot about with Dutch Railway, for example, and KLM. Try to see, who is doing something great and how is it that it's so great. And I talked to KLM, and KLM is doing great stuff on web care. So I just had a meeting with them, and I asked them, okay, what is kind of a platform are you working on? And they showed me Salesforce, the way that it worked. And for me, that was the reason to become interested. Today, we are working with Salesforce specifically in my area on the service domain. So it's kind of the basic platform used on all our web care teams within the company. And again, we have different brands, and the brands have their own web care teams quite often. But for me, it's very crucial to have the same platform behind them, because then we can interconnect if needed. So if we, for example, have a problem on the high brand, then people from the KPN webcare team can dive in and help, which is nice. We can benchmark, so we can see, okay, how are the different teams operating? So we have the same mechanisms, we have the same reports, the same benchmarks, and the same also tagging behind it. So it becomes also from an insight and reporting perspective more interesting. So it's Radian 6 for monitoring, and then it's the marketing service cloud behind it as the work tool for the people within webcare. And what we also do is use the social command center for the whole narrowcasting within the company. So narrowcasting on screen, but also narrowcasting to put it in reports on iPads or iPhones for the management to get them more involved and show them the metrics. Yeah, does that answer your question? Okay. Do you have another question? No? Okay, well, I will stay a bit here, so if you still have a question afterwards, just tap on my shoulder and I will be there. Yeah, thanks very much.